Hey guys, how are y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic. Welcome back to the channel. And today we have for you guys another movie review. Today we're tackling Marvel Studios' Spider-Man Far From Home. Just came back from seeing it about a little bit ago, and I had to look up some information on YouTube because this is going to be a no-spoiler video, so no spoilers at all in this review, but the movie's filled with spoilers. I mean, duh. But yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in this movie, especially the end credit scenes. I will tell you that there are two. There's one after the funny... well-made credits, and then there's one after the normal credits. So do make sure to check those out because they're really cool, and they changed the game a lot for Marvel. Now, also, I really came into this movie not expecting a whole lot because the previous two Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man 2 by Sam Raimi, is my favorite out of the Sam Raimi trilogy. However, if you guys know me, I do not like the Sam Raimi trilogy. I don't think those movies are very good. I hate Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. He's my least favorite version. If you like him, that's fine. I just hate him. And then, of course, there was the Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was the second in the Andrew Garfield movies. And that one was pretty good. It was a little goofy, but it was pretty good. It embraced it, I think. But at the same time, it kind of bit off more than it could chew, and, of course, that led nowhere. So, Far From Home is the first Spider-Man sequel that I actually really love, in which I love the actor playing him and the universe that he's in and all that. So I will tell you right out of the gate that Spider-Man Far From Home is the best sequel from any Spider-Man film, any Spider-Man universe, all that. Now, going into the nitty-gritty, of course, no spoilers, but we got characters like Spider-Man, Zendaya, whatever, MJ, Ned, and, of course, Betty and Flash Thompson and his teacher, and they're basically all going on this vacation to a bunch of different places around the world, hence the title Far From Home, and a bunch of crazy stuff happens, which I'm, of course, not going to tell you, but it's crazy. I will tell you that. It's crazy. And then, of course, we have Mysterio, who is a bad guy in the comics, but he's... See, I can't tell you. I'm not telling you anything. I'll tell you that Mysterio is in the movie, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, whatever, and he does a really good performance. However, if I am to do a negative, and I have a few, I'll get to it in a minute, but it has to do with that character. Now, again, that's the plot. They go on vacation, and crazy stuff happens. But, that crazy stuff, it's not, just uneventful. It's very eventful, and a lot of things happen. But, of course, for spoilers, I can't really tell you what happens. If you see the trailers, you'll know what I'm talking about. It gets really crazy. Now, as far as, again, acting and actresses and all that, I thought it was great. Everyone did a great job with this movie. Sadly, this is the first MCU movie to not feature a Stan Lee cameo. They did pay him a little bit of respect at the end with Steve Ditko, but other than that, it's really... There's no cameo, so that was kind of a bummer. But as far as action goes, this is my favorite Spider-Man movie for action scenes. It was really well choreographed, really well filmed. However, I will say that there's one thing that pisses me off about movies, is that they add things in films like trailers for the Lego Batman movie, the Lego Ninjago movie, Rogue One, and Spider-Man Far From Home. There's probably a few others that I just forgot right now, but they have scenes in trailers and they don't add it in the movie. And the scene in Far From Home is in the trailer where Spider-Man is beating up all the guys in like a casino or something, and the cops are interviewing him. And he's like, "Oh, how could I go? I have to do your job." And that was a really cool scene. It looked really, really funny, and a lot of cool action scenes happening in that one clip. But of course, it was not in the final movie. Don't know why. Kind of made me mad. I just realized it though after I finished. When I walked out of the theater, I was like, "Wait a minute, that wasn't in there." But other than that, I will say that the action is awesome. There's a lot of cool things happening. Again, for spoilers' sake, I bet most of you have seen this film already, but for those of you who have not, there's billions of videos talking about spoiler stuff in the world. If you want me to do a spoiler video, tell me in the comments, but this is spoiler-free, so not much happens that I can tell you, but there's a lot of stuff that happens in the film that is crazy, for sure. And the action scenes are handled really well. As far as comedy, here's the thing with Marvel movies. You kind of have, the DC films are... they're a little jokey now, but they used to be really serious, and that was DC's thing. Of course, Deadpool made fun of it in Deadpool 2, but, the MCU really is full of humorous moments. It's not a comedy. Some of them are, but most of them are not. They're more serious films with little humorous moments, kind of like Ninjago, if you know from that. But this movie, I was kind of worried because Spider-Man is a very humorous character, right? He's not as funny as Deadpool, but he's pretty funny, right? He's known to be a quippy teenager, and in this, it's like, well, you don't really want Far From Home when he's on vacation with his buddies to be really jokey. You don't want it to make kitty or anything like that. And it wasn't kitty, trust me. But it was funny. I'll tell you that. It was very funny, but it didn't go overboard with the humor, which I really liked. Now, for negatives, I do have to say that Mysterio's character, I think, was not handled perfectly. I love the actor who played him. I love the special effects that he uses, you know, the CGI and all that, with his powers. I think he was played perfectly, but when you watch the movie, and again, this is a spoiler, his reason for being something is not good, in my opinion. You have really good motivations for characters like Loki and Spider-Man and Gamora, Thanos, everyone. You know, they all have pretty good backstories. And this guy, I didn't feel like I can't say it, but they didn't necessarily do the best job for establishing his character. That's what I could say. So that's just a really tiny negative. As far as real other negatives, I couldn't really have that many other than the CGI, I guess. And like I said in every review, every single Marvel movie has terrible CGI in one or two instances. And this one, of course, there's a scene where Peter Parker and Happy Hogan and all of them are in like a field with a bunch of flowers, and it looks terrible. You can just tell they're blurry and fake. There's a few, and again, the CGI in this movie, don't get me wrong, it's friggin' phenomenal when you have, you know, Molten Man and Hydro Man and all these different, you know, elementals, and of course Mysterio's powers and the Spider-Man when he's up in the air and doing so it looks fine. But again, in every Marvel movie, there's one or two scenes where it looks like barf, and I think Marvel knows that because there's a scene in the end credits where something's happening and you're like, oh, that's CGI, and then you're like, oh no, Duke, it wasn't CGI. That was not CGI. That was just a little thing they did. So I think that was a little bit of a joke, a fourth wall breaking joke, because I can't be the only person who thinks that Marvel movies have pretty terrible CGI in some instances. They just look terrible. And this movie does have a few. I think every Marvel movie besides Infinity War and Endgame is perfect. All the other ones have a little bit of issues. But again, you know, the CGI and Mysterio's character arc development, which you will see when you see the film, is not my favorite, but those are very small, you know, negatives. I think, again, this is my favorite Spider-Man sequel of all time from all these different franchises of Spider-Man, and be sure to stay for the end credits, because there's one, again, after the fun credits, and then there's another one at the very end, so there's a thing in the end where they show, like, a company who makes it, and then you're like, oh, that's it, they're done, you know, but they're not done, there's two. Make sure you stay for them. And, of course, guys, in the comments below, tell me what your favorite Spider-Man movie was out of all of these films, all of these actors. However, do not have any spoilers in the comments. Please don't, because there are some people who, you know, will read my title, which is spoiler-free, and then read the comments and they get spoiled. Now, I actually did get spoiled. I was watching a Lego video on YouTube, and some a-hole posted a spoiler for the end credits, and I thought it was fake, because sometimes people do that, you know. Like, oh, Luke Skywalker's dead, and Han Solo's dead, and of course those are real, but at the same time they have something like, you know, oh, Ratatouille dies in, you know, Lego Movie 2, or anything like that, and you go, oh, that's fake. So I thought it was fake, and it wasn't. So if you do, again, please don't have any spoilers in the comments. Didn't really ruin me, but, you know, it was kind of cool in the end credits where I'm like, it was true. That a-hole did tell the truth. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this review. I love this movie. Again, I'm probably going to give Spider-Man Far From Home, I'm going to give it an A. I thought it was, no, I'll give it an A-. Father, give it an A- because I had two things wrong with it. I had the CGI and the character development of Mysterio. So I'm going to give Spider-Man Far From Home an A-. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, no spoilers in the comments. And make sure to tell me, though, in the comment section, what was your favorite Spider-Man movie. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.